Hello, hello, hello! Welcome and well met. Welcome to the stream. Today, we're starting the week off with, once again, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're on episode 4 of the adventure side of things, because Chronicles is 2 games of Ace Attorney Adventures, and the Great Ace Attorney Resolve. I always need a second to remember the word resolve. Yeah, we're on episode 4. We're in the middle of things. So let me double check here. Yeah, okay. Are things still good? Yes, I think they're still good. Okay. Let me make sure the screen's not frozen up or something because I whacked the cord or whatnot. Anyway, let's get into it. We're in the middle of episode 4. Woo, we gotta talk to Iris here. So, let's see. I could show her things, but I think I'd rather just get into the conversation. She might mention some other stuff. What do I have in the court record actually right now? Okay, just the map of the area. So yeah, I definitely want to talk to her first. Okay. So yeah, this is Iris Wilson. And we're at 221st B Baker Street. So we're on Herlock Sholmes' abode. Hello, kitty. It is just not a stream with me recently without one of you coming by and me getting distracted, huh? Iris. Oop, I need to go, little buddy. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey. Yeah, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Oh, at the time, you did have a rather large gun pointed at us. This is great! She is. She's adorable. I mean, the first impression we got here is that she's quite, well, she's an inventor. She's able to invent things. She's not afraid to throw hands. With Gina. And then now we got it, so she's like, oh, you were doing all this. And Susato and Ryunosuke were both, hello, hi, we just met you. How do you know all that? Also, yes, hello, Grandma Iris. Hello to you too. Okay. I also almost read gun as gum. Oops. Oh gosh. Like this? Ah, thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Oh, Ginny? Yeah, or Ginny. Ginny? Yeah, because it's Gina. Ginny. Be Ginny? Yeah. I keep calling her Gina the whole time I was playing last time, but then I only realized after this it's probably Gina. Especially after my twin Sephoria was playing and she's like, it's Gina. It's like, and I'm like, who's Gina? Yeah, that was yeah, I should have figured that out earlier. Oh well. Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. Gosh. You wanted to, well, I guess it doesn't, self-destructing doesn't exactly mean blowing up per se, as usually the case in media, but you don't have to blow up, like explode, self-destruct an invention. Hello Margaret, welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. This girl is dangerous. Anyway, I brought Jeannie back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Hurley, of course, silly. Hurley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? Not likely. What? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you've found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. Your roommates. I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. Well, what of your mother and father? Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is. Okay, listen. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course, of course! Go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and... Oh! You have a copy of Rest magazine! Right? Yes! And I've read every issue! It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship! Oh! This is so exciting! My stories are being read on the other side of the world! My stories? That's right! Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see. And he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It'd be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness! Last night, he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you are the author? Yes! I'll let you on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure the Speckled Band. The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories, here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but... It's a story! Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. Don't you? So, do you mean to say... Are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rand's magazine all written by me? Yes! On my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Zoppo-san's getting more and more worked up. Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But, what about the Doctor of Medicine part? That's all true too. I'm a Doctor of Medicine. No, at 10 years old? At 10 years old! Well, that's quite incredible. But Susato's is broken. Susato's in tears. Oh, poor Susato. Her favorite story is getting picked apart. Oh no. Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly, for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow. This is what I was thinking about it. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. It looks like our whole world has just fallen apart. Yeah, she was in tears, the poor lady. Well, I guess it'd be girl. She's still a minor, I guess, by today's standards. 404 error code, error processing. You're very right. That was Susato just then. You're very correct there, Grandma Iris. I agree. Okay, your deductions just now, which were seen in the end of my last playthrough. So I guess we're gonna get a recap here. Wait, do I still need... Wait, no, it's been way too long for this. Even if it did save beforehand, it'd be past that, surely. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. I should check that. Does it save just like at the point that is in the game, or is it just whatever's last said while you play during that session? I'm curious. Well, I guess I'll have to find out my answer later. Deductions, just so you know. About before. Yes? Yes? What's on your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. How did you know? That I was a lawyer, and we've just arrived in London, I mean. Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'll be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Why'd you put her goggles down? Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Bruno. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. But you also said... It's so weird talking. I see Ryunosuke on screen. Ah! Oop. Bit of cough today. Okay. I just realized I didn't bring over my water bottle. Hold on. We're frozen on these two spaces. Let me go take a few seconds to grab. Oop! I brushed up on the cord. Hold on. I'm gonna have to fix that first. Oops, I forgot. I can't move over there, or else it breaks the thing. Okay, we're good now. Hold on, give me a moment. Don't step on another cord. Hi. I have a kitty. There's a kitty visiting. She's gonna... You don't know what to do with yourself. That's what your face says. That's my cat just blankly staring at me. Hi. Good kitty. Okay, I need a drink. So I got a frog in my throat. Oh, hi. Meow. That was you, huh? She's showing me a bit of fang. She doesn't want to be poked at. Okay. That doesn't feel like I have a bubble in my throat. I can do the talking easier. All right. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. Hi, Bro. He's actually looking over for once. Usually he's looking dead ahead. Hi! I'm gonna wave at him. Ryunosuke starts sweating bullets at the mention of Van Ziegson. Susato's standing there. She looks so sympathetic. That's the word. The Reaper of the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. Oh. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on the comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And the red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. So I concluded the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe you must have had accepted a new case. I see. But how could you have known the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? That certainly must have been Soseki? Wait, oops. Oh, okay. Mr. Natsume. Now, Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? I think it's actually... Wait, how long are Susato's sleeves? Just thinking. I know yukata are light clothing, so I doubt that's what she's wearing. I know the pants are called hakama. Even if they're like actual pants or just a pleated skirt to look like that, they're still called hakama. Just one's like hakama pants and the other one is hakama skirt. So usually, actually no, you usually just say hakama and that means pants. So you would say hakama skirt to differentiate the two styles. But I think she has very long sleeves, but I don't think they're long enough to be a furisore. I know too much about Japanese clothing, sorry. Kimono means a thing to wear in Japan, so the more accurate translation would be just clothing in general. So yeah, kimono and clothing are synonymous words, more or less. But it's come to be in the West to be known as this particular style of garb. Even though that's really not accurate. Though I guess it could be. Japanese and English are both living languages, and so things are wont to do that, aren't they? Well, I guess to say at the very least, it wasn't always that way. Linguistics between languages is a tricky beast, to say the least. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both came from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. We both came here to ask Hurley about the case. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. So that one up there. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Ryunosuke and Susato are struck speechless. Yep. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's side for that. And Iris's theme starts playing again. That's what's playing. This is really good, very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please. New question. Maybe the last one? Case of the Japanese man. Yes. What do you know of Mr. Natsume's predicament? So, yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying. Yes! Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. The police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, Great Detective is a popular man, it seems. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking stooped man. Mr. Natsume. Oh, wait. Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Saki-san said that he didn't see anyone else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. Not my best game for the voices today. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room, very nearby. He went directly there with the police. And what did they find? A short, shifty-looking stooped man, shivering in fear. Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow's too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh? Scotland Yard is doing its best. They can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear. I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I almost said judicial. I suppose it is. In that case, I don't hold out much hope for Susaki's-san. That does seem to be the end of questioning for Iris. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Well, Inspector Hurley is still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where these lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Ah, goody! In that case, give Greg a service from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this? A 5-shilling pence and a postcard, it seems. Iris's postcard in the court record. Woo! It reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Gosh! This will make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Homely music! Good luck, then. I'm gonna return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. She has her go get him pose. I love it when Susato does this pose. She looks so cute. She's like, let's go. I'm like, yeah. So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene where Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Are we immediately gonna go there, or is the... Oh, right before it beats to be continued. I did have to stop last time. Okay. Do a quick save to save. Because the game prompts, and I might as well. It doesn't take that long. Okay. It is now 2:38 p.m. Briar Road. William Robbins. Whenever I see a sign-in game that can read, I can't help but read it. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Hello. We'll present the postcard from Iris. Then, Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? Sorry to say that I don't. I'm a very busy man. Not too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gagabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give it here, at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Ah, don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? It got snatched. What was that coin, exactly? The silver crown, obviously. That's a lot more than that. It's, well... It's an it's an appearance fee. That's what it is. An appearance fee. Oh, I see. You mean... That's right. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me. Every time. Yes, yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course. Her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes. But still... I'm sorry, Inspector. It must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry. Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously, it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, a little knife-wielding mustache Japanese fellow. He lives right in a right old hovel. Just over there, look. On the first floor of that house, on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up. Yeah, that wheel's pretty busted. One of the first thing I noticed, really, looking at the scene. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garridage. Maybe I should make the text a little more opaque. It's been hard to read sometimes. Text box. Oops. This. Low off. No, keep it low. That better. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier to read. Oh, actually, it's still pretty transparent. Okay, that's not too bad. That should make a little slightly less hiccups now in my reading. Okay, if I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garrideb. Right, well, if you see her again, make sure you give her ladyship my regards. You hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson says his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector. We will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. You treat her like the Queen of England. Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then. Shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely! Nope. Okay. Nope. Yeah? Okay. Oop. Yeah, I know. Thank you, game. Thank you for making it abundantly clear. Let's move our hustle over there. I think I need a drink again. Water. I don't think this is Mr. Natsume's lodging. As in, I know it isn't. I got my teacup. Oh, it's still a little off the edge. I'm gonna have show off my teacup. I have bothered to take my teacup here. I'm going to show it off. Ha 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 ha. I'll get the dialogue going a bit. And that's a lady. Oh, jeez. Apparently my voice is a little rough today. Joy. I wasn't really able to tell that. I haven't talked much today in the morning. Bumped into my desk and my mic nearly fell off. Okay, well anyway, before I become a klutz again. May I help you? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrideb? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. Oh. Okay, that was a face. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garrideb. Alright. Did you see that, Miss Susato? It was a real-life English maid. I know. And as I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garide will see you now. This way. It's the admin, I suppose. There's quite a lot. Oh. What is going on over here? Look at that enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could it be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Ahem. Maybe let's not, Miss Susato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Oh, we have a... Oop. Right. What did I scroll up? No, it's just this. Yep. What is this? Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. Just quite the English way. Mr. Garidev's custom is to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally, and I would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garidev doesn't eat, I say to myself, Jean, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you. Candlestick. Oh, it's missing the candle. This old candlestick holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. It's certainly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing. Yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Grimcrack, really. Oh. Used it when I was studying, don't you know? For my commission. All I know, it's old. Hardly worth hanging on to, really. But, well, it still has its uses sometimes. Of course. Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories. Behind this. Oh, it's a wow, that's a lot of shelves and they look kind of broke. I've investigated the area. Oh, wait. Scroll so far away. Oh. It's just right there. Okay. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my. A genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken, the crockery is... oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. Speaking of the cannon, everything is kind of tilted and whatnot. It looks like a medal of honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight. That old thing. Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I dispose of it. The wall's been the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to a shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the metal itself. Look. You see, it says, "For distinguished participation." Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet. I was given that from my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Just looking at everything before I talk to the people. I'm like, I want to explore. Look at the enormous... Ooh. I accidentally clicked this. Nope. No peeking. Scrolled over. Look at the picture, not the screen. That portrait of Mr. Garidev is glaring at me, I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames containing photographic prints of Mr. Garidev as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell something and came out with that thing. Point of fact, to think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place for something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Sun doesn't pull her punches. Or her throws, for that matter. Let's see. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous. Ah, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Ah, those old things. A couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Gave a bit of a colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. You never know when the things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what, exactly? Yes. Well... Jean here. It's like, not John. Joan? Joan? Joanne? Joanne? I guess Joanne? Joanne here. Did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day while she was dusting. Oh no. I didn't shed a single tear since 1869, before then, you know. Maybe reconsider throwing them away. Anything else? More on this side. Let's see. It's a coat. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Ah! Not much better than rags, really. Oh. Or that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. I'm not one for dwelling on the past. Me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. For a guy who doesn't want to hold on to his past, you have a lot of things. And I think the last thing is the cannon here. It's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing? Ah, a little more than a toy. Sorry? Army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. It's all useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? Isn't it overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world's going to throw at you next, boy. I think Ryunosuke has a idea of how much the world throws at him already. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garideb? Always is. Take Joanne here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Tries them over the barrel, you see. Very well on the cannon there. Joanne tells me... Oh wait, they try very well on the cannon there, Joanne tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. We have now personified a giant cannon. It's quite big. Good look over there. Alright, let's talk to the people. Good day to you. John Garideb, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. You excuse me for not getting up. Shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of my wand, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. A hell of a job getting up and down stairs now. I tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? If you're panting up a couple flights of stairs, yeah. Well, Mr. Garideb, no doubt. You were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. Medal's just a folderoy, really. I didn't like to offend the general, though. So I grudgingly display it on the wall. Don't you fetch it down, Joanne. These good people see it properly. Joanne, fetch the... Ah! Dash it, old woman, be careful! Oh, dearie me. I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly near took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. Oh, anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I heard you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only two, please, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Brightly. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Then, catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea. All that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Ryan's magazine here, so... Just stuttering. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. Oh, he's in Soseki's-san's room. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching in its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. Jolly unsettling. I'm Mr. Natsume. I'm Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garideb. Please do tell us. Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week. So he moved in very recently, then? I have 2 lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us. First floor room became available a week ago and he got burned by the tea again. Dash it all, Joanne. Do be careful. Oh, my goodness, sir. Oh, my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have the most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Jan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. You won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Is there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Oh, jeez. She always looks so gleeful. Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. A shady lodger. Had you noticed anything else about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. That anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with a never-living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookstore every single day, and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house. Is that correct? That's right, yes. Both below us, on the first and street level. First floor and street. And how is that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed. She just poured more tea on him! Good grief, John! Be more careful, woman! Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. I didn't really get the Ryunosuke voice. Let's see. Something doesn't add up here. Miss Maid. Incident 2 days ago. It seems that the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering around? Oh, wait. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garidev household. I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. about you, Joanne? No, sir. It wouldn't have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... Yes? Was there something then? Nothing particularly significant, but around that sort of time here and there... Ah! For the love of God, Joanne! What were you doing? Oh, dear me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Are they always going to do the shtick if she doesn't want him to say something? She's done it at least, what, 3 times now? Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Naruhollow. Oh, yes? I have an exceedingly good memory. Oh wait, no, was that her? Oh wait, yeah, I was. Well, of course, sir. Well, if I may, Mr. Naruhodo. Then it's... Oh, yes? I have an exceedingly good memory. And as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garideb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really, nothing of... Ah! Joanne, dash it all! What's the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes. Quite. Nothing happened. Sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joanne? That's right, Mr. Garideb. What is the matter with these two? They're certainly the comedic duo, aren't they? It sounds like something happened here in this room. On the evening of the incident. But what? I wish I knew. Is that it? Oop. Mr. Natsume's room. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the 1st floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak. Yes. Told me Nat's his name. Had asked him to look into the matter. So I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged in Mr. Sholmes' services. That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean. Let's see why not. Just down 1 flight of stairs. Okay, so they're on the 3rd floor, so they have ground floor, 1st floor, 2nd floor. Which, in the US would be 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor. Right. They say ground floor, I guess, instead of 1st floor. So there's a bit of differences on how the floors are labeled throughout many countries. Sometimes it's ground floor, sometimes it's the 1st floor. It gets a little confusing. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case. But we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on. Shall we? Yes. And while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Yep. Okay, yep, done talking. Let's, back out again. Okay, yeah. Move. Mr. Natsume's room. Garideb's room. That's where we're in now. It changed its name. There's a kitty! Okay, Mr. Natsume's room. What? Just look at this place. And smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Her eyes are so wide. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. There is quite a few in here. No, me neither. It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garideb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere, investigating. Examine. Nope. It's a cat. Cat meows, I meow back. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. It disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolored Mickey, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? They would. I think. Yeah, calicos do happen. I should know what criteria is needed for a calico cat. The only thing that's coming to mind is that Siamese cats are an offshoot of black-furred cats, which is not very helpful at the moment. I hiccup. Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? I've only been in the country for 2 days. Oh, if we can still click here. Is it gonna amend? Oh wait, no, it's for the desk. The desk seems to be wedged into the crevasses between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while he's stroking his cat. Surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes. Surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh, yes, Mr. Natsume's name is written on it. Look, and the date of purchase. 2 days ago, at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Second-hand book receipt received in the court record. Can I look at that? I want to look at it. Wait, I haven't looked at the map really either. Mersham Street, Briar Road. Okay. So, that rectangle on the corner on the same bit, well, my head's behind. That must be the Garideb house? Mansion? Building? Building? Yeah, building. Building works. Calabash Road. Okay. Yeah. So there is the Garideb house. And yep, there's an X, I'm assuming, is where the incident took place. Because we got this from Gregson last stream. Okay. Your book, 17th February, 4:45 p.m. Customer Mr. Natsume. The sum of 2 shillings tendered in the receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecour. that Lacroix or is it Lacroix? Lacroix or Lacroix? It's Lacroix? I think I've seen this name before, but I think it's Lacroix. I guess. Amir for Garborio? And Canterbury Yearnings. That sounds like a romance novel. Interesting. But I guess that's it. Okay. That's a lot in the trash. It's back. It's a beckoning kitty! Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Meneki Neko all the way from Japan with him. Meneki Neko. Meneki Neko. Yeah, Meneki, I think, is beckoning. Or is it the word for calico? Well. I hardly think you're in position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Dharma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and his cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? You might be muttering out loud there, Ryunosuke. What else is here? Ooh, book pile. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No. What a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. Ah, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. What's this? This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall back here. Looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here, too. Ah, I believe that's a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo. A gas meter? Yes, it seems there's a piped gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter. So, if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights in the gas fire for a whole night. So, if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold. That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes. London is a scary place. Oh, yeah. If I recall correctly, there's a lot of things like that that made living quite, difficult. Back around the turn of the 1800s to 1900s. Could you even call this a window? I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although, all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So, really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design in a fit of whimsy. It's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. That explains Natsume's, here. Oh! Hello, Shlums! You've just been how long have you been sitting there? Oh, look, Mr. Naruhodo! When did you get here? Aha! There he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes! Oop, that caught his attention. Ah, you two! Good day! Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes! We came together on the SS Burya. Yes, of course, the Burya! Let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Osogi. He died. Tragically. You were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Osogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh! Well, you seem to remember something of it, at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr... No, my dear madame, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. Susato looks disappointed. I lose the first round. I don't remember when I had Sholmes. Have an upbeat voice is good for him. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. Some Scotland Yarders ambushed me in the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It's an entirely trivial case, of course. Solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So the Emperor handed Soseki-san in that sort of an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little. It's a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. Do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an inventor entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, wait. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madame, I should only be too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Yay, we can talk to Sholmes. Hello, Sholmes. I always get happy to see him, even though he is a bit troublesome at times. Mr. Natsume's arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreigner student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes. For the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe that was the name, or rather along those lines. Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Miss Susato. I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking for Susato... Wait. I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if a pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. A good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my facilities, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books. I found myself quite lost in bibliophy. Okay, I can't say that word right now. Do not be deceived into believing that I'm a man of leisure. No. Oh dear. Mr. Garideb and the landlord. Ah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garideb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. And it was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, the households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on precocious boundary between middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, the retired army veteran, Mr. Jean Garideb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I am firmly lost in what he means to say. He's giving hints. He's done this before. And actually, playing through this a second time, I can more clearly see what he's trying to get at. You have to take it. It's kind of funny, because actually, I would say you have to take his words vaguely at first, but then I realized, no, you really just, he's very on the nose in what he means. It's more like your assumptions for the wording of how he puts things will get in the way more of than what he actually is trying to get at. I guess, so any of you dear viewers, try to take his words a little more literally. He's not one to mince them except when he's being silly, which is a lot more obvious because he will be silly man. The thingy room? Should it be dingy? Gingy? Oh, I suppose that doesn't have an R in it. Okay, the Gingy room. Oop, I accidentally hit the wrong thing. I forgot to hit down. Oops. I gotta skip through all this. Oops. My bad. Is there a button to fastly skip through things? That's what I get for not pushing down. I thought I had done that already, but I did not. Oops. Okay. Let me go check the settings just to make sure. Go see the button. Is it? Pretty sure. Yeah, that was it. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm on the right selection. Ew. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man who is lot to dwell in this place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there's a window of sorts. It's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means have inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps, rapidly close up windows up. While the rich open windows here and there and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. This legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It appears so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinary low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, oh, whoops, not I need to pay attention to the names, boy. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh. Still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Oh, is that it with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? The occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir. On an ambition realized, and so promptly, too. The thing is, It's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Did you come back to investigate? Ah, yes. That's indeed my initial intention. There are simply too many fascinating books here. I can't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nonetheless, there are two facts I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was a Japanese occupant of this room. And there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh? What is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garideb is... Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually. Didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo. As yet, our investigations had uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garideb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. And off he goes. Busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Nope, he just wants to read. Is he still gonna be there? Yep, he's there. Bye, Sholmes! Oh, he's a treat to see around. He's so silly. Let's see. I guess we go back up to Garideb. Yep, there we go. Location. Yep, back in the room. Ah, you pair again. Tell me, the detective chap, I forgot his name, still at hard work down there. Mr. Herlock Sholmes? Ah yes, rings a vague bell. Well, that detective isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joanne. She's gonna fill it again. Now then, why don't you tell me what... Ah! The umpteenth time, woman! Will you watch what you're bally well doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Ah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave. You'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get much of a chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, the Garideb is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Okay. Now there's it. Oh, the window. This window looks over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked. Oh, yes. You got the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. This is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Is this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open the window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. Okay. Sholmes? Really, man? What are you doing? He's in the window! How many times? I forgot he did this even. I remember him chilling in the books because I'm like, I wonder how comfortable that is. I forgot he did this. How many times are you gonna show up in the weirdest positions, sir? Sholmes. Ah, what is he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes? Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious, when did you sneak in here? Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever were you doing over there by the window? I'm going to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madame. But sadly, cheerfully as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well... Keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is a prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. Oop. Hi! Hello there, Franklin, and Happy New Year to you too, even though it's almost February. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Yay, we get to dance around with Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Gardeb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerable distinguished service. I already doubt that. Your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you're concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. So Naruhodo, look. The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. The guys in the crescent moon hair cracks me up. Oh, the guy's crescent moon hair cracks me up. Yeah. Gardeb does look like, he looks like, how to say, the man in the moon. That's what he feels like. I have no idea if that's relevant later on, but yeah, he very much comes off as the moon, one of those stylized crescent moons with the man's face on it. Like, it's one-to-one almost for some of the ones I've seen. But come to think of it, that's actually pretty common imagery. I wonder if there's a story behind that. I would like to know it, if there is. Unbelievable. It seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are spot on. How? How could you possibly? How could I possibly know? You mean to acquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. Arr! And I should know only too well that the beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Woo! Great deduction, the game is afoot. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your figurative glance, Mr. Gardev, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast has run rampant in here. It was revealed by that lion statue. Just by the question mark that just happened, I don't think that's quite the answer there, Sholmes, but you have your fun. Also, why he's near me? I mentioned yesterday that Iris' symbol is the flower, which you can see. And then Sholmes' symbol is the gear that's around the flower. His symbol is the two together, so Sholmes is protecting Iris. I just wanted to point it out because it's right near my head. Hello. I need to look this way though. See it on his shoulder. But yeah, just to point that out since it reminded me of that. Anyway, moving on with the deduction. Yes, although an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. This is piffle, I ask you. In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. Are there lions in India? I mean, I know once upon a time they had a much, much, much bigger range, but the Romans kind of sold to that being quite a bit less, but are there Indian lions? I cannot remember if I know that knowledge. I don't know if I don't actually been told that before, but huh. Okay. Well, or did they like have a lion farm? I have so many questions for this one line of dialogue, and I don't think I'm going to get answers unless I look it up later. Anyway. What? Oop. Yet living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. Lion noises. Also lions. I feel like I should be making jokes given that my name is Leona. If you call me a beast, Sholmes, I'm going to get insulted. Anyway. The chilling traces of wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well. Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame. I believe there was, and only a very small remaining population. Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were over there. Cool. Well, I guess I hope they get a bigger one. The population of lions, I guess, should be quite a bit bigger. Or better or worse? Question mark. Anyway. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Shooting from its handbill advertising a circus show. Ah. Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Gardev, at Batty's Circus, a traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus will now reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. I don't think lions get trained that quickly, Sholmes, but do you have fun with that image? Rampaging Asiatic lion. So I think I just heard one of my cats sneeze. Bless you, kitty. Now, Mr. Garideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amidst fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man. I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain? They're both looking. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. For the cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has a devastating impact on financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last, unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. Oh, it's a candlestick over there. There's one missing from the candelabra? Oh wait, now it's on the table. Candelabras, I think, on the wall. That's a candlestick. They have another fancy name, but I don't remember it right now. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. Those look tasty, honestly. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it, or was it not, once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake. That's Marie Antoinette, and she did not say that. It was just attributed to her, but she did not, there's no evidence for her to have said that. She probably would have said something else if she was going to say anything about the state of things. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Food is the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of its final act of destruction carried out by the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Sholmes almost always gets things correct. We need some brain cells. Where's Sasato and Iris? Yeah, Sholmes gets pretty close, but he's largely incorrect. Though there are a few times where I don't even know where he's getting things from. I think he's honestly just having fun. Because I do know the Sherlock Holmes was a very lonely man, so I think Herlock Sholmes here also has that characteristic. So I half expect that he says things wrong just because he's having fun. It's essentially him playing around with Ryunosuke. That's my thoughts on the matter. I'm like, he's just having fun seeing what Ryunosuke can deduce from Sholmes. Essentially, with these deductions of his, are giving Ryunosuke hints or just leading up to the answer, but being slightly off. Essentially, the man is just playing around. He's having fun. He's so silly. Okay, but anyway, speaking of the man, I need to read his dialogue. Okay, let me read the last bit of dialogue. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. The carpet got eaten by the lion. I don't think so. It got eaten by something that was hungry, but it was not a lion. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle. Did you have fun, Mr. Sholmes? Oh my goodness. Is he going to... Yep, there it goes. I'm tired of yelling. What is the matter with you, Joanne? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Are you turning into Ariadne, Sholmes? Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. Oh. Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again? Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed. It is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realm of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrideb and his maid would have been hurt. Or worse. Yeah, Moon Man. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said that there are... Oh wait, I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Ah, my dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of a race and breeding, whatever I'm tripping up on the R's. Irrespective, gosh. Sometimes I trip up on words and like I'll say them a few times so I can do them in the proper voice. That irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it is your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight message. It's all Mr. Massage? Eh? I'm not sure what that's trying to say. I guess a slight message, and that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it. Or a massage? Maybe she is saying. I'm not sure. A slight something, that's for sure. Read the words yourself, please. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward. Mr. Naruhodo. You are absolutely just having fun with your friend. Have you made friends with Ryunosuke there, Sholmes? Thank you for the emotes. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, covering the truth is always worthwhile. Whatever the motivation. Silly faces. You find that funny. All the emotes. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let us start again. From the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Ryunosuke! Course correction! Hold it, Mr. Sholmes! The topic of the nature of the beast. What is the real conclusion shall we be drawing? We should be drawing. Certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see. A fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late in these four walls. Thus, we are faced with one question. What form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Jeez, that's a lot of emotes. Are you guys having fun? You're like, yeah, correction time. You're all very silly. Your figurative glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Oh, I should move. Move over a little bit. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garadeb's reaction, it seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So, what was it then? Must follow Mr. Garadeb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. What is he looking at? Oh! There's a thing behind here. Picture behind here. What's this photograph? It appears to be Mr. Garadeb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply here. Bride, Mr. Garadeb. The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. But no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Looks like the maid. Yeah. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Oh, look! Have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. It looks like some kind of embellished sunflower. But okay. The bride?
Take that!
So his wife, essentially? Oh, I need to move again. My bad. Ryunosuke looks so smug with himself. Oops. Oh, wait, no, I was right. Ryunosuke looks so smug with himself. I love doing these because Ryunosuke looks it's just Ryunosuke looks like he's having fun. He's being a bit smug. It's just fun seeing Ryunosuke, I guess. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garadeb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscure, we can still make out her mighty arms, and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Nope. Sholmes just turned off the lights for Ryunosuke, and Ryunosuke flinched back a bit. Oh, that was a really cute detail. Oh, indeed. Surely a woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late! The fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. Ah! The chilling traces of wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well! Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madame. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it's plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? That your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Time for me to move over again. Whee! The poor fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of Mr. Garrideb, or Mrs. Garrideb, anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. Whoa. Hello. Oh. What's a funny wedding ring? She's wearing a very large ring. Look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. It's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. It looks like it's on there for life, too. Can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size. Would be rude, Ryunosuke. Though I guess it's fair if you got larger and just... That has happened before. Not the first time I've heard of that predicament. That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo. Not to say, Susato's like, manners! Don't be rude. Do you know, Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one. It was a large sunflower design as well. Really? I have a great memory for these things. Large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? I don't think so.
Take that!
Oh, I should move. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! I don't know why this pose and expression's making me giggle, but it is. Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my. Word! Oh dear. So she has a sunflower theme? I suppose her little bonnet headpiece there does kind of look like a flower. So she's a sunflower and he's a moon theme. So they're the sun and the moon. Well, jolly fine deducting, sir. You rightly surmise, this is the wife, yes. My Joanne. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a Polly Crocker bag. Ah! Don't be rude! She's adorable. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. Yeah, they're really quite the comedic duo, aren't they? After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have an insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? All right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a champ can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, what is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society. It employs no staff after all. Though in my considered opinion, such occurrence about appearances are a folly. You mean Mr. Garadev has his wife work as his maid? Precisely! Am I right, Mr. Garadev? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret. Please. The conclusion is the rampaging wife of Mr. Garadev. Gary Deb. Okay, so what happened to the carpet? No, Mr. Garadev. He is kind of a jerk, ain't he? I have no contest. I'm not going to contest that assumption. It's plainly clear that you have a deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress at his loss has caused you a veritable wait. The distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. I don't think so there, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garidev's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, it feels rather uncomfortable. Mr. Garadev is standing beside her, or Mrs. Garadev is standing beside her husband as we speak. Apparently she does not mind it too terribly much. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps the supporting arm seems to be propping up his head. Has some other significance then? According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garidev's pain is tangible, though. What could the pose of his really signify? Well, he does seem to have quite a red mark on the side of his face. I think I might just be able to present this right away. This one, at least. Gotta go.
Take that!
He's got a slapped cheek. He got smacked on the face. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. Oh my goodness, the face. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Joanne Garbadev. Did I say? Yeah, Joanne. I think I said Joanne. Okay. It's John and Joanne. It's gonna get tongue-tied. Get me tongue-tied. Well, yes. Oh my gosh, her eyes are all sparkly. I think she doesn't mind being called a beast because I think methinks the lady here is rather proud of her strength. On some level. You have been desperate to hide the slap on your cheek, sir. Arr! Dude deserves a slap. Yeah, he do. Oh, in the blazes. How did you work that out, ma'am? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. You keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Well, you were subject to such a violent slap. In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garideb to fly into a rage. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills you have given that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Which is not correct. Didn't Mr. Sholmes say that the bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but now we've established that the lion never existed. Which can only mean the thing responsible for gobbling up all that food is Mr. Garideb's wife. Mr. Naruhodo! She's a person, not a thing. Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round the face. So, one so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes. Why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Pile of bills, bookmark. There's more broken stuff. Okay, what is the... Oh, there's a kiss mark on that. Ah, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here. Look! Mr. Garideb is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look next to the signature here. Bookmarks, made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Oh no, a cheater. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Well, this bookmark is actually a love note then. Love note. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna be presenting.
Take that!
Cause, yeah. So it's one thing that will get you slapped by a lady, it is cheating on her. Yes, this is... Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. Oh, yeah. Look at her. Joanne is furious. I think she's gonna slap her husband again. Oh, yeah, okay, I was dead on the money. But I don't know how the Bali... But I don't know the Bali woman. You don't know her. No, it wasn't written to me. Just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It wasn't just in... It was just in there, you say. That's right, that's what I've been saying. Nah! And that's why you've been getting scalded with tea this whole time. A likely story. Now listen here, Joanne, old thing. I explained at the time. Got the book at that second-hand place. The note must have already been in there. So, the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's what I've been... Ah! A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. Ah! It's not like 3 or 4 times. This is the 3rd time she's done this in like a minute. A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with a most ferocious bite. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. But unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. Very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. Look could have caused such a destructive outburst? Ah. This time, madame, I'm afraid it is you who has inevitably revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. But surely Mrs. Gardeb didn't eat the carpet. I think you're right about that, Susato. The woman doesn't strike me as a carpet eater. No, of course not. There doesn't seem to be any doubt. The state of disarray in this room is a result of her wild temper. No, that is true. So, this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We will need to follow Mrs. Garideb's gaze. It will reveal him, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes. There's this. That was in her pocket beforehand, wasn't it? This is an advertising handbill for the circus. Daddy's Circus. It's in a nearby park. Isn't this the same as the one we saw earlier? The one that was folded up in Mrs. Garideb's pocket. Perhaps they're very great circus lovers. Couldn't it be that the hungry lion is somehow involved again here, could it? Oh dear. I do hope not. Not that. Oh, maybe the candlestick, because there was the candle on the ground. Candlestick. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? Base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. It looks to me, even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that'd be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. What is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Okay, so we didn't need to do anything. Wait, can I look at the candle on the ground? Nope, that's just on the carpet. Do I need to look at the carpet? Oh well, let's see if I can just... Can I just...
Take that!
Candlestick. Because the candle burnt the thing. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow. And of course, the only possible way of this logical labyrinth. Seriously, I think Holmes is just... Herlock. I think Herlock is seriously just having fun. He's like, can you figure out what I'm trying to say? Yes, you can. I'm having a good time. He's just having fun. Yes, the remains of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. I think while sharing tea and making plans to see the circus, she reached across the table, slapped the mister, and hit the candle. Easy peasy. You know, that's a pretty good assumption there, Grandma Iris. Hello. Kitty cat. My cat is like being twitchy in the hallway. Or more fidgety, I guess. Kitty! Kitty! No, she don't care anymore. She's fine. Things do me the concern that they're completely fine. Seriously. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital... It would appear this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Yep. Mrs. Gary... Oh, wait, no. Mrs... Their voices. Mrs. Garideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face. but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, the most ferocious beast in the world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, a ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discourse flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Oop, he stood up. Sholmes trying to apologize for himself. I salute you! Goodbye. Oh my gosh, his wife is carrying him. She is a strong lady. Yay! Deduction complete. Elementary. I need to enunciate my words better. These dashing long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookstore just around the corner. I buy all my novels there. Thank you for the emotes. In the pages of one particular novel, discover some rather illicit material. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. I tripped up my words. Take two. Know about... No. I don't know about admonished. Demolished might be rather closer to the mark. Beast is most certainly an added... Ah! Here we go again. And the carpet? Is that destroyed by the fire when a candle fell on the floor? Hate to say it was. Happened in the brink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. It's the bally thing. It's got between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. Paint a torrented picture, sir. That would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. It'd take long for the fire to spread, of course. All the furniture started going up as well. I had to hide the mess behind the screen for the time being. Over here, Mr. Garideb. Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Oh dear, that got to the bookcase. I had all my favorite old novels in that case. As soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke. Gosh. And the wife started hurling things at me. That would explain the rest of the room, for the most part. It's a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, backed up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite. Book called The Lion's Pride. Lion's Pride? Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. Well, the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast rampage. The Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. It may be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage. Flames everywhere, and the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. 2 days ago now, let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think. So exactly the same time. as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. More terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. Whole of Blightly could have been flattened outside my window at that moment. I would have noticed the dashed thing. Oh, really? Everyone's gone quiet now. Mr. Sholmes. Yes, Mr. Naruto? What can I do for you? Well, I think we've gotten to the bottom of Mr. Garideb's situation now. What does that have to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? Can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I just knew you were going to say that. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you must have loosened heart. Bear in mind, all things fall into one of two categories. Those relevant to the case, and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It's of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry. Visiting hours at the prison will be soon... Visiting hours at the prison soon be... I'm gonna mess up 3 times. Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no. Is it that time already? If we are to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. Well, that's it. One more time to think. Perhaps you like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now. I must prepare supper for Mr. Garideb. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you both very much for your time. Saki-san will be waiting for us. And I'm going to have to give him an answer. And Sholmes must have left at some point. Let's go to the prison. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up after talking to Mr. Natsume. Oop. Oh, okay. We're got us while we're leaving. It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. Yes, I know. Let's hail a cat. Oh. What's the matter? It looks like someone's going on over there in front of the Garideb's house. Oh my goodness, hi. I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. What you call an old man, you rum-looking nimpy-pimpty? To me? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than they are dreamt of in your philosophy. This is Horatio, fellow, eh? What are you on about? Excuse me. What the? Who are you now? I'm sorry, it just looked as though there might have been some problem here. My associate here, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. A lawyer? What? I can be of any assistance. Be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I've studied English law. Fine. Be on my way for today. Mark my words. This ain't over yet. Goodbye. Get thee to a nunnery. Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? Oh dear. Talk about another comedic duo. This man is, interesting. I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you. What was all that about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here in the Garideb residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. But Garideb mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah, yes! A gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy of palmist in my battle of words, ne'er there could be. Spout Shakespeare and so dramatic. I think we found a thespian. Sorry, battle did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand. It seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances, at least. So fair, maiden, so good, gentleman. I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well. Okay, goodbye. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. It seems he's unaware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. So Saki-san and that man as lodgers. The Garideb house is certainly full of eccentricities. Anyway, we'll go find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. We're actually gonna go there. Hi, Sasaki. Okay, 6:31 p.m. Oh, she's Hello Kitten. Sasaki. Oh, he's all shiny-eyed again. Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! Locrum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched! We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no! Think nothing of it. Relax! If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nipponese! There's many eccentric character in this story. I think Susato and Ryunosuke are the most normal people in this entire escapade. Oh, now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. Something more reassuring than familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand, it is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. Hello, Sholmes. Ah, oh, yes! Ah, it's you! The miserable, rotten spy! Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se, except observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our diverse friend is faring. Gloomful room? At least your accommodations here offer a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is a superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight, and cost me not a penny. Ah! You! How dare you! Herlock Sholmes! Are you... oh... ugh. I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck would be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is be damned! What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? He mentioned once before, didn't he? His lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Cursed is wholly appropriate description, I would say. For the man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Yeah, it's probably gonna end after this. First trial. Mr. Natsume, what do you mean by what you just said just now? For the trial tomorrow being cursed. Oh no! Why are you looking at it so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. It's really agitated him. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Ooh. Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me! Summarize, secondly, in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh my goodness! Can it really be true? That was 60 words exactly! Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilded. What? Ah, I'm impressed, Miss Susato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes. Surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zeeks killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. It's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Ah! Of course he is. Then, why are you trying to scare me? Could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? The Reaper. Van Zeeks is quite the exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. Aha! That's good! His son looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in British criminal trial, there's both judge and jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It's an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in that particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contrive evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhanded means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly, is from time to time, my dear madame. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zeeks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my. Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, Within months, they all disappear. It's most striking. Disappear? But how? Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by raging fever. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, I knew it. I did. Dodo, done for, doomed! Thank you for the input, Natsume. Cursed lodgings. When you say accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at the Garideb's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. I've only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I had to move a number of times. Most recently, to that room on Briar Road, a week ago now. Yes. Why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was all too late, so I told him. If you have something to say, then say it. But if not, don't mention it in the first place. Yes, well said. It was true. It was all true. You mean, the room really is cursed then? Since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really no one at all? To believe, yes. To believe. To believe. Mr. Sholmes. Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo. Pray, what can I do for you? About the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. Buria. Ah, yes, that case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. At the time, I was a suspect. But you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is why? Why do you believe me? I see, yes. You mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with a victim in a locked room. Well, if you like, yes. A little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What do you mean by Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse in my opinion. Meaning... whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right! Little Crumb student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. So long. I don't know if I can believe myself. Asogi! Kazuma! A defense lawyer is only good as his faith in his client. That comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You were so right, Kazuma. Yep. Everyone's just standing around. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? The visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There is a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Care to join me? Oh dear. There's never enough time, is there? Oh, poor Soseki. Aw, poor man. Mr. Natsume. If you like, the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Oh, he's gonna cry. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced the British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial. Who to believe in, the defendant, justice, or the truth. Who to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. My instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it is imperative we prove that in court. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. Oop, his eyes cleared up. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me, in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. A roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Still, that's when he remembers. Miss Susato. Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. It's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me. Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Osaki-san has no one. All alone. It's my job to help him. To fight his corner. Tomorrow. In the courtroom. With all the strength I can muster. I think that's a to be continued. Yep, there it is. Alright. That will be it for this stream today. That went on a little longer than I was expecting. Yeah, today my voice acting felt a little less than on par than usual, but I still made it to the end. Yes. My throat is certainly unhappy with all that talking. And my unnatural voice. Still my voice. I'm just doing a voice, and that's getting rather confusing. I'm gonna stop thinking about that now. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed it. My Mises who watch live, and the Mises who watch the VODs, and anyone else who happens to wander on by live or when it's a VOD. I'm very much grateful for you coming and seeing. But yes, for now, I must bid you all adieu. And with just a small little request that you like, comment, or subscribe if you so feel inclined. You don't have to if you don't feel like doing any of those things. I'm not going to force it, because that would be rude. But I certainly appreciate those who do. You have my gratitude. And regardless if you're here to stay or just passing on through, I very much thank you for coming. And for now, it is bye-bye! And I hope to catch you another time.